the world is filled with noise. If you do not make out time to remind yourselves of who you are, you might be swallowed up in the noise around you. So can we show them how we close learnings, please?
We are world changers. We are global heroes. We are Ubuntu.
Please put your hands together for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have started the learning already. Thank you, drummers. Thank you very much. Join me to welcome the premier trainer of the Family Systems Engineering Certification course and the chief convener of today's conference, the leader of leaders of the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, and I'm talking of no other person but Praise Fowowe to come give us the welcome address. Praise, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dima. Okay, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for coming early. It's our culture to start events early because we do not believe in compensating latecomers in order to punish people who arrive early. So we ensure that we start all our events at 9 o'clock. So can we put our hands together for yourself for coming early? We believe that if Nigeria embraces this kind of culture, things will change. Okay, last year, we came together to celebrate International Day of the Family, and this is the third event that we're having, African Family Life Delegates Conference. And we're talking about positive family culture and African development, a catalyst, and albatross. Now, I'm sure you're aware of what happened in our nation yesterday because America suddenly realized that every Nigerian wanted to leave Nigeria. So before now, you just drop your passport and visa will come and meet you at home. So they canceled Dropbox yesterday, and that was a sad moment. And what we're hearing is that other nations are going to start their own as well, to say, let's clamp down on this nation that is coming to trouble us. Now, for me, it was a sad moment, and I woke up to see what one of the ministers in Nigeria was saying this morning, that he was calling on other European nations to ban Nigerians from coming. And the question I asked is, what Nigerian have you created for people who want to stay? It's the same way, because everything we complain about actually starts from the family. The family is the production factor of the society. So we say once upon a time we were all community children, which meant that our parenting was not left in the hand of our parents alone. Other parents in the community were also permitted to correct and discipline us if need be. This was possible because every Africa had a peculiar heritage they were known for. Almost everyone knew what to expect. I mean, when I was growing up, you knew the families, where their girls get pregnant before marriage and all this. You know all this kind of thing. You knew the family of 419. They will not get chieftaincy title, right? You knew the families that you say, oh, this one's. If you drop your phone, you need to watch it because it's the family of, we call them Ofon, right? You knew, every family, you knew what to expect. I mean, my family was a family known for being blunt. They will tell you, we always pick our mind and we say with the way it is. And it was something we picked from my father. My family was known for arriving early because my father taught us that you need to arrive early, that he was prideful to allow people to be waiting for you and come late. So punctuality is the soul of business. And when I started business, it was something we put as our company policy to say, for every event we need to have, we need to arrive 30 minutes before time. And that has been a way of life forming. In those days, there were no courtship and premarital classes. Yet there were solid marriages and amazing family life across the continent. Of course, we knew they had excesses, right, that we're not proud of. But there was a priority for many, which was family. I mean, how did our parents do it that some of our uncles, they just passed through a lady from Nigeria to meet them in Obodo Yibo, and their marriages worked, right? But in our days, there's premarital counseling, postmarital counseling, extramarital counseling, every counseling, prayer meeting, destiny recovery, prayers for your family. Your husband will not cheat. He will not sleep with. Yet, marriages are not working. What did we get wrong? In our research, at the Institute, we found a missing link. The missing link was upbringing. What made the past marriages work was even not knowledge, It was the fact that every child was properly brought up. It was a shame to flaunt some things. I remember my sister used to work in the bank. One year, after working in the bank for like 4 years, she bought a car. And she brought the car home for my father to pray for her with a bottle of wine. Guess what? My father refused to come down. I mean, as a parent, you should be excited that your daughter works in the bank, right? Bought a car, isn't it? My father refused to come down. Why? My father was asking the question, how did you save enough money from your salary to be able to afford this car? But what you see in our own video right now is small girl, big God, where a child brings home a car that you know this child doesn't have any employment. His salary cannot afford the car. But when he brings in the car, mothers, what do they do? I don't know that song, but that's the song I see in home videos. They begin to dance and nobody's asking, what do you do for a living? Right? So people live a life that is above what they earn and nobody's asking. Every time I see boys who flaunt yahoo, girls who flaunt breast on social media, I'm asking the question, where are their parents? Because my father, when he was alive, we call you to order. In fact, he would say, when my father was a very funny man, whenever he saw people dancing for musicians, he would call them alajota. You see, none of my children will dance like this. Of course, some of them are professional dancers, but that was the heritage we had. It's a heritage I inherited from my parents, such that it's tough for me to steal. Because my dad puts a coin on his table, and he said, when I was younger, you won't know that I circled the coin with a pencil. If you move the coin across the marker, he knows you can't steal it, but moving it, your hand touching it, above the mark, is attempted stealing to him. Then my father will beat you. When he beats you, he tells you to pull out your pocket, and when you pull it out, he will tell you that when you take the money that is not yours, he brings agbano, that's what he calls it, into your life, such that when I grew up into adulthood and I had to do a project for Lagos State government many years ago, and they put all the money in my account, and all the guys we invited, I paid them off, but there was one guy who didn't show up. Nobody knew. I was the only one who put the invest together, so I knew he didn't show up. His money was in my account. I went back to Alausa to retire what was left. And Ministry of Education started laughing at me to say, we didn't know about this, keep the money. I said, it's not my money. And I said, no. I said, give me an account to pay this money into. Why was I doing that? The voice of my father kept ringing in my head. The value of home training. So what happened way back was when you brought out a child from a family, you kneel. You don't have to pray. So when I see people in Christianity praying that God don't let me steal, it's not a function of prayer. It's a failure of home training. That if we raise our children properly, if we have a proper family structure, it will become a way of life. I feed people I don't know these days. Why? Because even if my mother is here, in our house right now, there are people who she's still training who are not related to us. I grew up to meet her, send food out during festivals. So it was because when children learn by observing, it becomes a way of life for them. So we are in crisis. If you fast forward into a distant time, an era where the end justify the means, an era in which anyone who tries to correct bad behavior is labeled as jealous on social media. You know, one of the worst sins you can commit in Nigeria is to try to correct bad behavior. If you go on Instagram and you see a naked lady and you try to say, why are you naked? This is wrong. They will tell you, nobody only pass. They will tell you, judge not. So what we are doing is, every bad behavior now is not acceptable. We must not talk. What kind of world are we building? Right? So, right now you hear, thou shalt not judge, nobody only pass, and small girl, big God, even when it's obvious that the source of what we flaunt is questionable. Then they will tell you that you are jealous. Now, there is gross corruption across our continent. It's sad that Nigeria is defined by corruption right now. And we are all wondering why our country is defined by corruption. Many people go on visiting visa to America right now, they don't come back. Right? And that's why America is clamping down on everyone. Right? Younger generation have taken the quest for illicit funds to another level. Where is there hope for African development? There is no nation or continent that can fully develop without a positive national values. But national values is an offshoot of family values. So as you are here today, what are your family values? What are your children known for? Right? what are the things that your family members are known for? Can we say your family is known for honesty, integrity, right? Or what are your I mean, gone are the days when if you steal, you can't be clapped for in the community. I grew up in the 80s to meet people being shot, tied to stake for stealing in the same country. Nobody could even do yahoo yahoo and advanced people, whatever you call it. But right now, it's like, I mean, people just drive the kind of cars that you don't even know where they got from, and we are just okay with it. Now, we are asking the question, the theme for African United Nations for this year's International Day of Family is Families and Climate Action, which ties perfectly into our theme of positive family culture and African development, a catalyst or albatross. Nothing gets done without positive family values, which before now produce farms and gardens across every family, but without it, the environment becomes compromised. Cancer is a major issue in Nigeria right now. I lost a friend earlier this morning to cancer. Now, but the question we are asking is, what are we eating? You can't even trust the purity of what we eat any longer. Are we together? So when they tell you this fruit is organic, you know it's not organic, and because there's no detector to know whether it's organic or not. But when I was growing up, I remember that it was one of our play to go and climb trees, to pluck orange, to pluck what you have. I mean, in my family, my mother had a farm. I went to a farm. In our compound, we had trees. So when people are talking about global warming, what did we stop doing that we used to do? These are the critical questions we are asking at this year's conference. It is my earnest desire that after this conference, we'll all go back home to what is good about us and begin to raise a family that will bail us out of what we have as a problem in Africa. If each one reaches another one from here and we all espouse the Ubuntu ideology, which is what we believe at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, and what that simply is a Zulu concept which says, I am because you are. If we all live here and we see the next man and we say, I am because you are, there's no me without you. Whatever I do against you, I do against myself. Then I'm not going to hurt the next person. I'm going to take care of them because every human being is an extension of me. No man is man except through other people. Right? So what we're saying is it's another International Day of the Family where we talk about family. We have a distinguished line of our speakers. Our keynote speaker is someone that will get you to laugh. You will cry, but you will pick information. Yomi Fahimi will soon be here. We have our session speaker, Mrs. Adenike Ogunlesi. She will tell you a story of how, she rose from, making clothes in her home to building a brand, Rough and Tom, and our distinguished panelists are filled with so much information. So it's a good time for us to be here. We'll have a tea break after a while, from now. And also what we're doing today, every International Day of Family, we graduate a new set of family-led practitioners. Many years ago, we realized that people who are helping families, they are using native intelligence. So we created a course that is now offered across Africa, wherein people actually come and learn what we call psychometry. It's called Oyela. Now, it will tag this Oyela. And you know what Oyela means? In Yoruba culture, which is revelation. Now, what Oyela does is, if we administer the questionnaire on you, and you send it back to us, if we process it, we will do you a report about your family, and it's 96% accurate. We designed it from Africa. Now, some of us are going to be in the US next month, to showcase it to them as a solution to family life crisis. So these days, when I work with family people who have crisis in their marriages, and I do their report without meeting them. I met a couple yesterday. It was my first. I couldn't even recognize them, but I sent their reports online. So they came to me, and the guy said, please, what power did you use to find out what was happening in our marriage? And I said, science, pure science. So it's not as if Africans don't have brain. The problem is that we are not proud of our solution. We look at everything that comes out of here with suspicion, as if God has created us inferior. So it's time for Africa to export what we have, our culture, back to the world. On that note, I want to welcome you to this year's African Family Life Delegate Conference. Please have a fantastic time. And always remember that it's Ubuntu, I am because you are. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Priest Fowowe. Please put your hands together again for him. I won't be doing this work alone, so I'm going to welcome my co-anchor, the beautiful and glamorous Labi Olayori. Please put your hands together for her. Labi is an OAP who has also attended the Family Systems Engineering Certification course. And afterwards, it totally gave her a paradigm shift on how to handle the questions that people call in to find clarifications for when they call in on our show. It also had informed her to know how to moderate the discussions because, you know, when you're at OAP, you have a lot of people coming in to share their life stories, to talk about what has happened in their lives. And sometimes you can get a bit judgmental because you're wondering, oh, what the family systems engineering did for her was to broaden perspective of life to take the shine from her. I will allow Labi to tell her story. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be part of this. It's really amazing. From just, how do I start? All right, my name is Labiola Yori. Like she said, I'm a TV host. I run a talk show that deals with relationship, family values. We talk about everything. And like she said earlier on, it's amazing how I can listen to people right now and I don't go, why are you thinking like that? Instead of, okay, let's go through what you went through. How was your background and all that? And that's what the FS has actually helped me. And I'm saying thank you to Praise for Owe and the family. All right, so we have lots of things to do today. And let me see. I need to know who is around first. So let me tell you a little bit. I remember one time when a man called on my show. My show is always a late night show, so we get to talk about everything. And, no, not a man, a woman called and said she has a 15-year-old daughter and that her husband takes her bath for her. And they have their bath together. Now, on a radio show, you can do, you know, but on TV, everybody's watching you and you can't see them. So I went, oh, okay. How long has it been doing this? Said they've been having their bath together for like 10 years. I went, okay. In my mind, I'm like, if I see that one, I'm going to strangle him. I need to know what was he thinking. But this, when you go for a course like that, it doesn't make you judge people immediately. It makes you want to know what happened to the man at the beginning. It makes you want to know why did he decide to say, you know what, I want to be having my daughter's birth for her instead of the mother. So I had to, because it's a 1 hour show, I had to tell her to call back. And I had to meet her. Normally, I don't like meeting people one-on-one. I just want to talk on the phone. But that was when I had to meet her one-on-one. Then I said, can I meet your husband? Can I meet your daughter? Can we do this and that? Okay. All right, so I ended up meeting the whole family. So I met with the man. I met with the woman first. I asked her about relationship with her husband, with her daughter. How come she's not close to the husband? How come she's not close to the daughter? Then I met with the man, and there was so much. There was so much, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what is going on in your family. And today they're happy. You know, the daughter can now. Okay, at the end of the day, they don't take their baths together anymore. But we had to deal with that. And that's one thing about family. Because I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, it's how you deal with your kids. That's how they're going to deal in the society. That's true. It's how I was being brought up. I remember when guys used to say, I'm very pretty. And I'll say, I know, my dad says that. Do you get that? So when a man says, I want to buy you lunch, I'm going, it's not because I have the money. I'm just telling you that from the home front, I got everything. I remember when somebody said, why do you have a leg chain on? I said, my mom got it for me. Not because I got it from my friends. Do you understand? My first makeup set, I got them from my mom. My first kiss, I told my mom. Oh God, I'm telling you so much. All right, let's get back to the real thing. And we have someone from the Honorable Commissioner who is representing the Honorable. And the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, she's right here. Olufumilayo Blaze would...
Mrs. Olufumilayo Blaze,
Mrs.
please.
Olufumilayo Blaze, please come. That's your mic.
Please come, ma'am.
Thank you. You can. You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much. Yes, ma.
Would have loved to be here with us. But because of the exigency of duties, she could not come. Now I have a speech, her own speech, to be read to the hearing of everybody. Here it goes. It is my great delight to be with you at this Africa Family Life Delegate Summit 2019 as a special guest of honor. I congratulate the team leader, Mr. Praise Fowo, and everyone who has played various roles in putting together such a colorful event as this to discuss issues of family, which without doubt is at the center of the peace and progress of the society. The theme of this summit, positive family culture and African development, a catalyst or albatross, is aptly paints a picture of how African society have reached a point in history where family life and local culture must begin to dictate the roadmap to development and social stability. You will agree that all threats to global peace and security stems from dysfunctional family life. Thus, providing solutions to such threats have to invariably begin from improving family life, especially with emphasis on our rich culture and our rich cultural heritage, which have been grossly eroded due to unguided embrace of Western civilization. I'm delighted to note that the aim of this summit is to provide a platform where delegates from the continent can come together once in a year to exchange models and concepts that families can deploy to function society, especially from development point of view. Permit me to state that the philosophical pillars of this summit is largely related to that of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, through which the Lagos State government has over the years touched lives of thousands of vulnerable women who are major players in involving a desirable family life. The state government has continually expressed its total commitment to the cause of women by embarking on different initiatives that ensure financial independence for women towards taking charge of their lives by being self-reliant. This is the reason why the present administration of His Excellency, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, has taken women empowerment as one of its focal policies to mitigate the effects of poverty that is prevalent amongst women. The establishment of 17 functional skills acquisition centers by the state government, a program under the purview of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, has been a masterstroke initiative which has helped to serve as a panacea to unemployment, particularly amongst women and young persons in the state. Let me therefore conclude that I sincerely look forward to a successful summit going by the array of resources persons and discussants here present who are renowned experts in their areas of focus. I once again congratulate the organizers for their unrelenting spirit and determination to creativity and determination to creatively contribute to the enhancement of the social fabrics of the society through emphasis on positive and progressive life, family life. I wish all participants a rewarding experience at this summit. Thank you for listening. It's a Siwaju Ìpínlẹ̀.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, we have the next person to talk to us about something very, very important too. This is Yomi Fawemi. Yeah, you ready, sir? I want them to see your profile, like who you are, what you do, how passionate you are about certain things. It's really an honor to meet you again. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Today is a great day to be alive. It's also a great time to celebrate and recognize what is important in today's world. It's absolutely important for me to start by appreciating and also thanking the leadership of this event, the organizers, particularly to appreciate Mr. Praise for putting this together, inviting me to give the keynote speaker, be the keynote speaker today. Please, let's put hands together for Mr. Praise for I do not take it for granted. It's different from you when you are a speaker than when you are a keynote speaker. A speaker speaks. Speaker comes with a key and a note to back up whatever he wants to say. So that you believe I have either the key or the note or what to say, I do not take that for granted. At the end of the time I finish speaking, you may conclude whether I actually had a key or I wrote a note, but you will know I spoke. And that cannot be under contest. The theme for this year's conference is Positive Family Culture and African Development, a Catalyst or an Albatross. I repeat again, Positive Family Culture and African Development, a Catalyst or an Albatross. I'm going to take both an academic and also a sociological response to the topic, and I'm going to just speak to the team, and expecting that the panel discussants will be breaking it down into various other forms as we move along. So this session is essentially about one very important thing, and it's about culture and the family. Because it says, if we have positive if we have positive family culture, then we could likely have development in Africa. So let me start by talking about what exactly is